What to look for in a small business bank account. We're going to talk exactly about what to look for a small business bank and the types of accounts you should have. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. All right, so I started my first of 16 companies when I was 19. I have built them, bought them, sold them, and wrecked them. I understand this space. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people all over the world. In fact, I wrote a book on it, aspiringsolopreneur.com, and actually you can, we have a full course. But one of the key things and one of the challenges is finding those professional services, those professionals that can help you define what is ideal and why do we need these things and what great looks like. When it comes to banks, this is one of those areas where you see somebody walking around in a $1,000 suit. They can be intimidating. They use all sorts of unique language and words and things like that. I'm going to tell you exactly how we get past that. Now, we've got a lot of other videos on this channel that talk about bankers, attorneys, accountants, how to build this, timelines, marketing, all of these things. So please feel free to check it out, subscribe. But the first thing, when you're looking for a bank, you have to realize that you're interviewing them. You're not going hand in hand saying, hey, would you work with me? If you do, they're going to smell that and it'll seem a little strange. So understanding too that not all banks are the same. And what I mean by this is there are a lot of banks out there and it's illegal for them to not talk to you because it'll seem like they're being discriminatory. But they may only work with companies that are doing 10 million and above. Some will only work with 100 million and above. There are actually banks that only work with companies that do $1 billion and above. Now, you're probably not going to walk into their front teller and talk to them about it, but understanding that they're different. So number one, you're interviewing, and number two, you're trying to determine, is this bank a good fit for you? Do they have people like you? So when you go in, the first place to start, usually when it's looked at banking, or when you're looking for a banker, is I would encourage talking with others in your group. Excuse me, if you know that they may be, or other people who may have small businesses like you, where do they bank? How do they like it? What are the things they're needing? What are they seeing? If you don't have that, then we talk about different ways on how you can go and actually find like a small business accountant. Usually small business accountants are pretty good because they're going to have the inside track on which banks are working for their small business clients and that are working well with those clients, which ones are not. And banks are something that a lot of times people grow and evolve through and out of. I personally find that usually the best is going to be some of your smaller community banks. The smaller community banks are going to be more focused on helping the individual and growing businesses. But one of the easiest questions you can ask is if you start calling and you start talking to people, say, look, I'm interested and I'm exploring setting up a new small business accountant. I'm curious, do you work with small business? Well, most of them will say probably yes. Okay, great. How many, and find out who you should get connected with, because you'll get probably connected with a small business banker. Ideally, they have one. And then say, hey, can I come in for 30 minutes? And I would just love to interview you and get to know you and find out what else I should be knowing. Most quality bankers, accountants, attorneys, insurance people will be happy to give this to you because they're looking to create a long-term relationship with you. If they don't, count yourself lucky and say, great, I already saved some money, we can move on to the next person until you find that right relationship. Quality banker is about a quality relationship, in my opinion. So when you go in there, you're looking for what the accounts are, but you also are looking for the banker. So you sit down with them and you can ask, hey, help me understand, this is the type of business I'm looking at starting. I haven't even started it maybe, or maybe you have. This is where I'm at. And we do about this much in revenue on an annual basis. How many customers do you have like me that are my size? Now, they can't say, do you have customers like, they can't say, oh yeah, they're not gonna say, no, we can't work with you. They just won't say that. They'll waste your time, they'll take applications and all this other stuff, and then they'll just deny it because it didn't fit their parameters. But if you say, hey, how many people you have that you work with that are like me? They say, well, actually we don't have any, or we have 2. Well, or they come back and say, well, about 80% of our clientele is in small business and fits in that range. You're like, you just found your sweet spot. So with that, now that you have that, that's the number one thing. Then number two, what are the accounts and what are the different types of benefits and things that you're offering that I need to be aware of that you can help with? And at this point, they're going to put their salesman hat on, and that's okay, saleswoman hat on, and they're going to help you understand, well, you know, we have the straight account, your business checking account, but then we also have the savings account that it can roll over. You can put it into a CD, you can put it into different components within that. We can help you with wiring money. This is how much this costs, but you'll be able to start listing out what those pieces are. Once you understand that, you're going to be in a much stronger position to define what are the different accounts that you're going to need and why. Once you have that first one, I would encourage that you talk to at least 2 or 3 more bankers who could be possible fits. And keep exploring it, because this is going to be a cornerstone relationship and it may last a long, long time. Once you do this, you get a better understanding. Great. You're going to become smarter and smarter and smarter about what the right questions for your industry are and for the banks you're looking at. And you'll also get to see, wow, well, these guys are paying, you know, this rate of return on their savings, and these guys are, why is that? And you may say, but this is cheaper, or this is faster, or they're there, and you can weigh the pros and cons that's going to fit best for you. So ideally, you found some value with this. We've got a lot of other videos on this channel about those things. Please feel free to check them out, and you're always welcome to go to aspiringsolopreneur.com. We've got a full course on how to very successfully and safely launch your business. Thanks for watching. Keep smiling.